My husband looked at me one day and said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Nothing." And he goes, "You keep sighing." And this wasn't a new conversation. We've had that same conversation several times over the past few months. So I sat there for a second because I didn't even realize I was doing it. But when I thought about it, he was right. Every time something felt heavy or overwhelming, before I did anything else, I exhaled. And what I realized later is I wasn't sighing, I was resetting. My body had learned how to come back to itself before my mind ever caught up. And I want to talk about that today because I think a lot of us are walking around overwhelmed, reactive, exhausted, and we don't even realize there's a way back to calm that doesn't require a retreat or a meditation app or 2 hours of journaling. It's simpler than that. And your body already knows how to do it. Now, if you're new here, you'll hear me use the phrase living right, spelled W-R-I-G-H-T, because a right is a builder, someone who creates with intention. And that's the whole vision behind what I teach. Not just healing or awakening, but actually learning how to build your life on purpose, in the middle of real life. Kids, marriage, work, chaos and all. That's what this is. Here's what I see happening right now, and tell me if this is you. You wake up, you grab your phone, and within about 4 minutes, you've already seen something that made your stomach drop. A headline, an argument in the comments, somebody's opinion that made your blood pressure spike. And now your nervous system is in survival mode before you've even had coffee. And the thing about survival mode is you cannot think clearly in it. You can only react. And when we're reacting all day to everything around us, we lose something really important. We lose our discernment, the ability to tell what's actually true, what actually matters, and what's just noise. And discernment is everything right now. So what I started doing, and what I now do intentionally every time I start to feel triggered, is what I call the Living Wright Reset. And it really starts with one thing: breath. Not a breathing exercise with a timer and an app, just when something hits you, before you respond, before you type anything, before you say a word, just breathe. Slow. In through your nose and let it out 2 or 3 times. That's it. That one breath sends a signal to your nervous system that says you're safe enough to slow down. And the moment your body gets that signal, your mind starts to clear. The next piece is coming back into your body. Feel your feet on the floor. Drop your shoulders, because they're probably up around your ears right now and you don't even notice it. Just notice the air moving in and out. This sounds almost too simple, but what it does is pull your awareness out of the mental spiral and back into right now. What I noticed about those times where my husband was asking me what was wrong, I was in my head thinking about overwhelming things. But because I do breath work every morning, my body had been trained to react that way, to take that deep breath to bring me back into the now. Because panic lives up here, but clarity lives in the present moment. And then, before you react, you just ask yourself 2 things. what am I actually feeling right now? And do I actually need to respond to this at all? Because I'll be honest with you, half the time when I do this, I realize I don't need to say anything. I don't need to engage. I can just let it go. And that's not weakness, that's wisdom. I used to think I needed to be right. I needed people to understand me, to see what I was seeing. But at some point, I just started saying, okay, and moving on. And it freed up so much energy. And here's what nobody tells you about doing this work. When you start responding instead of reacting, the people around you start to shift too. I watched it happen in my own marriage and with my own kids. I didn't tell them what to do. I didn't drag them into a conversation about nervous systems and discernment. I just changed how I showed up. And heated arguments started turning into actual conversations. Because one calm person in a room changes the whole atmosphere. That's not a theory. I've lived it. The world right now is loud. It's designed to keep you reactive, to keep you scared, and to keep you consuming. And the most radical thing you can do in the middle of all of that is learn how to get quiet, get grounded, and get clear. And then respond from that place instead of from fear. That's what living right is about. That's what I'm going to keep teaching here. So if you're tired of the noise and you're ready to actually build something different in your life, you're in the right place. Until next time, namaste.